Good evening and welcome to Game 2 of this matchup between xoas and caffyjd in the round of 32. Game 1 saw caffy take victory over xoas with a time around 75 minutes. xoas unfortunately last location a very important item, so hopefully Game 2 both find the items they need in a relatively short order and we get to see a very competitive seed here. I'm Fury SK alongside Tracy M. Tracy, we're going to get right underway here, it looks like.
Yeah, excellent. Looking forward to a little Z1R. A lot of you know me from Super Metroid and/or Link to the Past or the combo. I'm gonna dip my toes into Z1R because this kind of takes me back to my roots. The very first video game I ever fell in love with was The Legend of Zelda, so really looking forward to this. Right, here we go. Not too far from the normal starting spot, so we got a few caves we can check. Okay, level 9 found right away. Not a whole lot we can do there.
Yep, you'll notice Caffey went in a room. Sometimes we go in a room just to see if there's a couple of doors that are available to us so that we can plot a later route. Otherwise, you can actually hear the roar of Ganon, so if Ganon happens to be next to your second room with the old man, then you can know right away that you have an instant Ganon.
Alright, and of course, I'm gonna grab these candles out here from the old man, drop a knot. Given that choice of the container heart. I notice most runners tend to pick up the candle right away, which makes sense, because you want to burn those bushes.
Yeah, especially with vanilla, start with the Dead Woods to your west and a couple of spots across Candle Row, as we call it, which is right between the level 4 vanilla and level 1 vanilla, with all those spots available.
And speaking of vanilla, that's a vanilla small secret. Just 10 rupees for our runners. Here we go, level 1.
Yep, level 1 is at the potion shop in the Dead Woods. So the reason I think Caffey's probably in here digging this is because there is a floor item as well as a staircase item. There's a chance that you might be able to kill something like Stalfos, for example, with a candle, and if you can, clear that whole room, maybe there'll be a floor drop.
Now, if nothing else, he's getting a couple of keys here, so that'll be useful. Well, container heart, so at least we have a shot at the white sword item.
Looks like xoas is going to go in here and clear out these Stalfos, if possible. May take him a little while, but if it happens to be a big item, maybe white sword or wand, for example, you'd be able to do some combat in here.
Yeah, it'd be really nice. Then you can, you know, you don't have to worry about looking for that wood sword as much.
Caffey unfortunately gets pancaked with a blue candle. You can't get out of that, so had to up an A, and that was enough for him to decide to go back to the overworld. Probably going to head to Death Armos, as we call it, to try and see if there's an Armos item there.
We did manage to pick up a compass, 3 keys, and a container heart, so, you know, not a completely wasted trip. And we'll get another container heart.
Yep, so 66% chance of the white sword item if and when we find it.
It's a nasty set of enemies with those dark nuts in there. Now, as a runner, do you like it when you see like dark nuts under wizrobes out in the overworld and you know you don't have to worry about them in dungeons? Or would you rather see them in dungeons?
Probably depends on what you think your skill level is and who your opponent is. I kind of like the more difficult opponent, or difficult combat if I feel like the opponent may have a little bit more of a struggle there. Gives me advantage. Otherwise, if it's just a straight up, we're very comparable, which is the case a lot at this stage of the tournament, you might just root for all the wizrobes and dark nuts on the overworld so you don't have to deal with them in dungeons.
And that's a 79. I assume that was the large secret. That's pretty low.
Yep, 50 to 150 is large. It's about 21 under the normal, but it's doable in first quest since there's 3 of them. So it turns out that the Stalfos room that Caffey walked through earlier is where the Triforce is, so I think that's going to make Exo want to clear this. If he gets the flute later, it'll make it easier to come back here right away.
Yeah, a shame that blue candle only gets you 1 shot. Never quite understood that. I mean, by the time you get the red candle in the vanilla game, it really doesn't matter. Does get that Triforce, so first on the board.
Yep, won't be too big an advantage because of where it's located in 1. I'm fairly certain Cappy's going to get that easily, but...
Oh, for sure.
Still nice to have, especially if, like I said, Armos item or White Sword item happens to be the flute. It makes it really easy to go there. Our tracker Kairos noting that's 1038.79, so the medium secret, which is the most abundant secret, rolling up by 8 rupees apiece, will offset a lot of that loss in the 79 rupees.
Yeah, but early on, we're going to see a lot of these. I mean, right now, Cappy with a decent amount of money. Right now, not a whole lot to spend it on.
Yeah, the blue ring is an option here within the next 70 or so rupees. I think, however, Caffey is probably more likely to load up on wood arrows and bait and potentially bombs, or even more keys. 3 keys is nice, but with a lot of extra bosses on, you don't want to have to combat through extra bosses to be able to get your keys, so a lot of rooms are going to be blocked by bosses, and you're going to try and just run through them instead. So that causes a lot of key issues, which we've seen a lot in this tournament so far.
Yeah, I don't feel like this money is big enough to be automatically going for that blue ring when there's still a lot of stuff to buy.
Yeah, really, without Armos knowledge, I'd be really surprised to see anybody make a big purchase yet. Especially Exo at 3 rupees. So, any roads are not awful, but some of them are kind of in a compressed area together, so not the best, not the worst.
Didn't seem like he wanted to take any of them right now, so we're gonna go do other things. There's our door repairman. And a red candle on the coast. I assume no reason to go back and pick that up ever.
Yeah, outside of world wrapping, where you're just kind of inclined to walk over it, doubt that anybody's really going to be interested. Unless, I suppose if the ladder is your item that's underneath the Armos, maybe the repeatable combat early might be helpful.
Yeah, maybe if you don't have, if you get it, can get it before we get a sword or a wand or something like that. It's Vanilla Bomb's price.
Be interested to see if Xoas walks back around here and goes down to that one off bomb spot in the southwest. Looks like he's thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't think Caffey's even gotten a single bomb yet. Hasn't found that store, and yeah, without the ability to kill anything, it's hard to get a bomb drop.
Yeah, Caffey's trying to manipulate this moblin into not going right up the staircase.
There we go.
And as you know, the moblin did roll up, so you can't kill it with the candle. The normal 3 shots that would be enough won't work here. It does look like Xoas is going to make progress towards the grave and subsequent Armos check up there, so we should have our Armos check knocked out.
Oh,
it is
there it is.
The magic boomerang.
Yeah, it looks like Caffey's gonna go ahead and grab that. I've noticed not a lot of love for boomerangs in this game. But without any other sort of weapon, I figure it's probably not so bad to grab at this point. Especially when you don't have to walk out of your way to pick it up.
Yep, it's worth noting that Lionels are in dungeons, and those are something that you can easily stun up, so I would say whether it's a regular boomerang or a magic boomerang, it's worth picking up just for that alone.
That makes a lot of sense.
Now, if you find a boomerang in a dungeon at 45-50 minutes, that might be a different story, but
Yeah, for sure.
Always.
No, unfortunately, getting that 79 rupees at a point where it's gonna would take him over 255.
I wouldn't be too terribly surprised if Caffy found a blue ring shop and just decided to go for it.
Yeah, especially this early, you're still opening a lot of doors, and it's gonna cost you money anyway. Bill hasn't gotten any bombs, though. I'd probably really like to find a shop that he could buy bombs in. Like this one.
Yep, this is going to change Caffy's mind entirely. Just going to go ahead and buy them now.
Yeah, I just buy 8. It makes sense. And level 3 on Xoas.
Yeah, I think he was about to the grave Armos, so I think that was probably where this is, or maybe the open cave just beyond it.
Oof. No, Landmo without any kind of real weapons.
Yep, early dungeons, the map happens to be in the entry rooms a lot of the time, or like the first room you see in there, so he's clearing that in hopes that that was the map. It may have gone up into this room with the Landmolo, so we're just going to walk through that.
Yeah, not a whole lot we can do with them right now. Still picking up a lot of keys. Oh, there's the wood sword for Caffy, so that's going to help him out a lot. Actually be able to do real combat.
Looks like Candle Shop in the Lost Hills was the answer for the wood sword. But yeah, this seat's kind of crazy so far. Usually we don't have a ton of keys to work with early on, and...
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of these races. I think that's... I mean, I haven't really counted, but I feel like that's more keys this early than I've seen. 3 in each of the dungeons that we've seen significant parts of. And level 2.
We're trying to execute a block clip here. I think that he's not reset the tile here. It's hard to do it without some sort of item, so he's going to probably exit, come back with a blue candle, charge, and go for it there.
Ooh, a ladder. That's a really nice find for Xoas.
Yeah, we'll see if he decides to world wrap and change his routing up a little bit.
I was gonna pick up those free bombs there. Speaking of ladders, Caffy ladder blocked in 2. Looks like from going down, then try to go up instead.
Yep, you'll notice that Caffy went ahead and up an 8 in that room. He's going to save this rupee boss. So if you leave the room via up A without leaving through a doorway, it'll keep resetting this room for you. So you can farm a little bit of money that way if you're short on money and you have that available in one of the early rooms in a dungeon.
Neat. I didn't know that. And a bow. Wow. Okay, so yeah, 3 and 2 with the goods. Going to need that bow. And a map.
Yep, just hoping for a quick Triforce now. Something not boss blocked by something we can't kill.
Get some free bombs. Looks like the ropes rolled up a little bit.
Yep, they're 3 HP in this one. not the worst enemy to have roll up. I'd rather they roll up than blue whiz robes or
Oh, for
dark
sure. Oh,
nuts.
God. Yeah, for sure.
And even really, the gels are probably one of the craziest ones to have roll up. That and Tektites, I suppose. Tektites don't have a particular pattern built into the game. They're expected to be killable in one hit, so when you hit them, they warp away and jump all around again.
Okay, so Caffey looks like he's going to continue to dig as much of this level 2 as he can. What do you think Xoas is going to go for at this point?
He's trying to make it to the coast first. I would be very surprised if he doesn't try and get to the red candle. And then probably just going to go straight into Armos checks, because you feel real bad if you play the seed for a half hour or 40 minutes and then go to the Armos screen and it's a white sword or a bow or some huge item that helps you complete the seed. So
Sure.
That should be more priority for Xoas, more so than even the wood sword would be.
Mm-hmm.
And the red candle without a sword is a pretty easy choice to make as well. Gonna take it.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, makes sense.
The answer, or the question in chat was, can Tektites wind up in dungeons? They are one of the smaller enemies that can roll into dungeons. So you usually have Moblins and Lynels as the primary swap outs. And I believe it's almost exclusively Tektites that roll off the overworld. For the smaller set, so you can have, say, Stalfos or Ropes or any number of things roll up onto the overworld in place of that for the smaller enemy.
Okay, Caffrey taking a death to that Gleeok. Knows where the Triforce is, so it looks like it's blocked by that. Let's see if he goes back for it. Knows the path, so can do it, and gonna have 3 hearts instead of, I think he was down to 1 when he went into that room.
Yeah, we'll see what decision he wants to make. I think, if it were me, as we find the book is the white sword item for maps, I think I'd look for health droppers inside this dungeon. Try and get my way up to sword beams, as that makes it a lot easier to combat.
Yeah, sure does.
Threats.
Unfortunately, ending up back in this ladder-blocked room. So the path Xoas is taking looks like he's going to get to that wood sword in a little bit. There's still quite a bit on path before he gets there, so we'll be at about 20 minutes or more. How does that feel when you end up that late to such an important item like that?
In another tournament, maybe it'd feel a lot worse to me, but in this one, you're so prioritized because Heart Shuffle isn't on in locating the white sword item, your dungeons, so you know which ones are blocked, so you can find the small dungeons first, perhaps. It's really not that big a deal unless it's impeding your ability to actually get through the overworld somehow, some way, via combat on certain screens that they... Like, for example, in the forest, there's the one-lane roads. If a dark nut's on that, it makes it hard to get around without candle boosting. If you have red levers, they'll keep popping up in front of you repeatedly, so that makes it annoying. That sort of situation would make it a little bit rough to not have the wood sword, but other than that, I wouldn't feel too bad.
Alright, so we did get Caffey finishing up level 2. Does pick up some wood arrows. You have the money, might as well just buy them now. It gives you extra combat ability.
Yep, ton of sense with the bow already added too.
Yeah, this red candle especially nice for Xoas, because he's able to farm a bomb over there. Caffey gonna pick up his book.
Yeah, any Moblin screen or blue Octorok screen, I think Zoas is probably going to be farming unless he's at 8. We did see that the bomb upgrade out of level 2 for 80 some odd rupees, I think it was mid-80s, was only +2, but that's still pretty useful going into 9 because there's a lot... It's a lot worse of a 9 setup now than it once was, where it's a lot more segmented, so you have to take staircases, and there's a lot of one-off paths with multiple bomb walls that you need to get through, so even a +2 at that price is worthwhile.
And Zoas is just gonna... Oh, is he gonna come back for it? No.
Yeah, the decision here, I think, is because of the red candle being a repeatable...
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
So both runners have a completely different path so far through dungeons and such, but I really don't think there's much of a lead to be had just yet. All these big items are in low dungeons, so until we find something that's required in like a 5, 6, 7, or 8 that somebody may or may not dig, that's the only chance I think we'll have anytime soon for a major breakaway.
Yeah, Caffy back in level 1. He knows where he has the compass and knows where the Triforce is. May try and find the item. Let's see. Didn't get either item out of here before because the runners didn't have a weapon to do much with other than a blue candle, so. And hello, back-to-back Gleox. And Zoas gets his wood sword.
Yeah, I want to say it was about a 7 or 8 minute disadvantage, but it's again, probably not the worst thing.
Okay, looks like Caffrey's gonna go back into level 1 and try and get these items out of here.
So here's a fun little trick that Caffey's showing off. On the right side door only, there's a little gap to where you can't be hit by like a land mullah or a Bimo statue, or in this case a Gleok head with fireballs, but you can be directly hit, I believe, by the Gleok head. So you stand there, you've got a little bit of a cushion to fire away with sword beams and not ever be really in position to take damage from the Gleoks unless they just run into you.
Yeah, sword beam's really nice on these. Had him for a while on this other one. Okay. Nothing here.
Yeah, I feel like the like room with the diagonal blocks is the most likely for the staircase thus far of what I've seen.
Yeah, would make sense. Also, really nice to have the bow and arrow for these Poles voices. And we find level 6 on Zoas' side. But no, that is not our item. There we are. What do we got? A raft. Okay, we don't know what our block dungeon is yet, so obviously you gotta pick that up. May or may not matter.
So what will our floor drop be, and will it be guarded by something annoying?
I think we got the 2 Gleoks out of the way, so at least we're done with those. I figure the one good thing about having all the extra bosses is once you kill them, they're gone. At least most of them.
Yeah, looks like he has to be burned.
There's a heart.
Is that the second heart in there, or is that the first heart?
We got a heart in a dungeon early, but was it this one?
Oh, This Goma may be the answer still. This Aquamenus room that this Goma's in is pretty notorious for dropping on the right side of it. Still drop in the way, not allowing you to go right.
Look at that level 6 map. Oh my, that is a big level 6. Caffy checking his map. Like he's gonna leave for now.
I kind of feel like we had a freebie heart in there earlier. I could be wrong.
Yeah, there was a freebie heart in one of the dungeons they got to go, and I think it might have been one.
Yeah, we had 1 and 2 for sure. I know Caffy's gotten 2 Taken E1 hearts, and he's gotten 2 dungeon hearts at least at this point, maybe 3, so... Oh, he's got all 4 Taken-E's, there you go, so that's 3 plus 2 out of dungeons, so perhaps 1 and 2 are the 2 dungeons he's dug for those. I don't know that he's gone anywhere else.
Yeah, I feel like the first dungeon we saw was 1. So, no! Okay, let's see. Caffy looks like he's gonna check the grave. See what's over here. And oh, there's our Triforce out of 6.
Yeah, he's got 2 rooms past the Triforce room here, so I'm going to check both of those, make sure he's not got an item staircase here. He's got something else instead.
Oh, that's rude. But he now knows where that is, so he can go get it anytime he wants. May choose to do other parts of the dungeon first.
Would not be surprised if Xoas just walks straight back to the Triforce room, takes it in hopes that 6 never has to be seen again.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to go back into this 6 either.
If it had an easier enemy set than Wizrobes, I think it would be palatable, but nope.
And there's 3 for Caffy. This will be his ladder. And since he's got the sword to do, he should be able to do more of this. And except there's a dig dogger, so and another one. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's what makes Flute a little interesting. You get overworld exploration, you get dig dogger combat, and you get 1 overworld blocking check out of the way. So that's, I think, why I still favor that item out of the 3, even though it's the least likely to pay off on the overworld side.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, I did, there was a race in one of the 4-ways where digging that recorder out first for one of the runners as opposed to the other ones made a huge difference, so. Because level 9 decided to be dig dogger blocked.
Yep, I had one earlier that was that way. Ended up not being dig dogger blocked, but it looked like the only staircase to get there was, so. Always fun when the dig doggers get to level 9.
Okay, Caffy gets his ladder. Oh, there's a container heart out of 3. Oh, and there's our compass telling us the Triforce is 1 room above. That's everything in 3, so that's nice.
At least it's not a dig dogger block, so we can get out of here and not come back.
Yeah, I mean, they had to be a legit worry because the one, they had a couple of dig doggers in a row down south that could have easily guarded the Triforce.
This is going to be a really fun screen to get across.
Yeah, I was about to say, that is a terrible vanilla white sword location for Xoas there.
Yeah,
He's just going to go into level 2 instead. He'll get his bow out of this, so that'll be good.
Yeah, with red candle, just candle boosting across those guys won't be too difficult, but still definitely see why he went back down the waterfall cave first. I think he sees that he got his bow, so...
Yeah, I think it spawned right on top of him.
And that's...
4. Oh my god.
That's a fun 4.
Nice segments there in 4. A nice little 1 off and then a 2 off.
Yeah, the worst part is if you have like a right-hand staircase in a 4, it's got a good chance to be your Triforce as well, so you can't just immediately ignore those 1-off rooms or even the 2-off.
Looks like we're gonna find one of them here.
Well, that's a dig dogger, but probably irrelevant, and the old man with it.
That's a waste of a key. It's a good thing we can block clip back, because otherwise we'd have to up an A. I don't think Xoas has bought arrows yet, so that Pole's voice room, not a very nice place to be. Oh, and there's a Triforce for 4.
Yeah, it looks like the Vire-splitting keys do not drop to a boomerang and may not even drop on 1 damage, so that might be a little bit of fun to work through at times.
Yeah.
In fact, they are.
Yeah, no, they rolled up for sure. Our item's not in here.
So it's living on the edge here.
Well, nice shoot room.
Yeah, what was originally a really nice key seed has kind of seen the key count dwindle, at least for Caffy.
Let's get another container heart. Could try for magic sword. It's a terrible room for a manhandler.
Looks like Caffy did find a potential staircase room, and what's important here is that the Lionels, the blue ones, have rolled down.
Okay, he sees a transport, would take him to that 1-off, and since we already know where the Triforce is, it's not going to get him anything.
Yeah, this is a bit of an oops by Caffy. Already saw this horizontal shoot, but realized too late that this was the room it was in. So, gonna cost him some money, not the biggest deal in the world, and gets a key out of it, looks like, but 19 rupees, starting to dwindle just a little bit on the key count as well, as the rupee and the key both are kind of falling apart here.
This could be our item room. We get bombs instead.
This is going to feel real bad if you have to take this long, very linear path to the bottom, the southwest part of this level 4's main segment.
And of course we have a Gleeok in our way.
Yeah, only a two-headed Gleeok with, looked like 8 and 4 is the health on the Gleeok head, so not too bad. And that rupee boss had a 5er in the middle of it, so this is the most likely now.
And what do we have? A wand. Okay, that's nice. Nice to have. Certainly not required, but it'll definitely help with combat. As a kid, that was my favorite item. When you know, sitting there on White Sword, I just used wand everywhere that you could.
Yep, gotta be a little bit careful with using it as a melee weapon because you can light yourself on fire when you have the book.
Kinda got ruined with the book when I was a kid as well, so I'd always hold off on getting that book till the very, very end.
Yep. It's a real fun time if they turn boomstick on, though, and the book gives it the bomb instead of the fire.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that before. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, Caffy done with 4. Oh, almost doing these in order. I think he actually got the 2 before the 1, but...
Yeah, Zos has some dungeon knowledge, just hasn't completed on some of them.
I don't think we've seen 8 yet. Have we seen 7?
I don't think we've seen 5, 7, or 8 at this point that
Okay.
I noticed. I was just waiting for my tracker, Kairos, to point out that I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change in this rando. Trackers are always the MVPs, so, you know, if we didn't have them, we'd be lost.
It's the easy way to get information, just claim something and look over to chat and see what the tracker says.
That's right. Some things never change. Ooh. Not a spot you want to take a death. Also, as one used to games where we death warp, because no up A, and up A being faster. Kind of weird to see it.
Yeah, and the other good thing is, Kairos is tracking the entire overworld, so we'll be able to see where Magical Sword is if we happen to miss that. All sorts of other small details, perhaps. Speaking of small details, another one of our viewers did note that there were 2 hearts picked up by Caffy in level 1, so that is in fact where
it is the level 1. Oh, and Zola's gonna go ahead and buy that blue ring. Has plenty of money. Has not bought arrows yet, so hopefully that part of it doesn't come back to haunt him. And he's gonna head back into level 1. Which unfortunately is just gonna be an extra heart container for him.
Yeah, I know that we've seen Caffy go to the level 4 now with the raft, but I don't know that we've seen the coast raft spot, so could still pay off unless we've also seen that and I missed.
Yeah, I don't think when he was over there earlier, I don't think he had the raft yet, so I don't think we've seen that one yet. Ooh. Caffey showing us why screen wrapping is so useful in this game. Not having to go through those enemies there.
Yeah, the benefit that Caffey had with this Gleeok is he came back into this dungeon with a full health refill. I actually think Xoas, if he were kind of thinking about it a little bit more, would realize that the easier way probably to combat that Gleeok room is to just go to the fairy fountain, since I believe we're at the Deadwood's potion shop. It's only 2 or 3 screens away, so you could go there and get sword beams, and that would make that a little less problematic. But found the other floor heart that we hadn't seen, or had missed the first time around, so that confirms it.
Alright, Caffey now into level 6. We've seen this these darn manhandlers. And they roll. I don't know that we saw Xoas go for them, but this one's definitely rolled up. Always feels good when you can just lay a bomb and get it in exactly the right place and it just immediately dies, and that's not happening here.
So let's see if Caffey can find this item somehow, some way at this level 6. It's a lot of rooms, but we're getting to the point now where we're going to have to start looking at a bigger dungeon, potentially, to find the last item that we really need for Gomar. Last 2 items, potentially.
Right now, at this point, need silvers and possibly the bracelets. We have not found our... or the recorder. I'm going to mess that up a few times. I'm used to flutes.
Yep, if the other raft spot doesn't pay off, we're at least 2 items away.
Right.
Silvers plus 1 of the 2 remaining overworld blockers. If the raft has a spot, then we're potentially down to 1. Now,
Yes.
that
okay, that was the magic sword there over at the vanilla level 4.
Yep, that does not count, unfortunately. If it were the white sword item, it would.
Yep. We might get to see this other raft spot checked pretty soon. There, that's okay. There's our level 7 with a nice little segment there, bottom left.
Yep, so 2 sets of transports and an item staircase.
Not a nice room here. But it is one that could have an item over on Caffey's side.
Yeah, and we're looking at this Wizrobe set also rolling in Gorilla, which is not the most fun scenario to have happen. It means one of our dungeon sets is going to get really weakened, as it's not going to have a major dungeon enemy in it. So I think Pull's voice, for example, might have taken over in one of the dungeons. Maybe it was the level 1 set that we saw. But we've got this Gorilla Wizrobe Wombo combo in both the level 6 and level 7, so 2 big dungeons with the same.
Simultaneous deaths. Caffey in 6, Xoas in 7. Yeah, it looks like Caffey's gonna leave that for now. Buy some extra bombs, see if he goes back in.
I think for now, just going to check this raft spot.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Get a better
Yeah.
idea of whether you need to be looking for things other than silver arrows. Obviously, the recorder could decide to be a thing that is needed in level 9, but... And there it is, there's 8. Another fun big dungeon.
Yeah. Zeus, meanwhile, is cleaning up this double block Gliok. In order for the Gliok fireballs to work, Fred has to remove the potential for a push block staircase because it just eats up too much of the memory he has to work with. So, at best, this is going to be like a Triforce or a Compass room that has the drop in the middle.
Now, explain to me what Caffy did when he entered 8. He went in and left. Now, is that to possibly open a bomb wall without having to spend one? How does that work?
So, the easiest way, but not the most correct way to explain that, is the game gets confused about whether or not you're on the overworld or the dungeon. So the pirouette trick is the dungeon thinking that you came in from the north, or from the room across from where you actually came in. I don't know why that happens to be the way it is, but it just is. As far as opening up other walls, if you transition a screen, like left, up, right, or down, if there's a blocking bomb wall or a blocking key door in one of those, or even a shutter, that will disappear, in the shutter's case, only for the first time that you go back in. So you'll see runners do that a lot to try and conserve resources. It kind of goes away once the any key is something that we've obtained. It just goes down to bomb walls, but you'll see that a lot. Another situation that occurs is sometimes when there's a shutter in a dungeon room that opens, you'll see a runner up A in that to try and pop a key door at the start as well, because it's the same sort of logic. The game thinks the door to the left is open, so it'll open up the room that you start in as well.
It's funny, Caffy with 8 keys in his pocket, and we saw 2 that he didn't even pick up over in 6. So keys have still been pretty plentiful this seed.
I'm not sure what... Karos is asking a bit of a question. I'll ask for a clarification on it. Bomb in replaced by a shutter door. I've seen that sometimes happen, but that's just... that's a bit of a confusion on the randomizer side. Usually it's supposed to be the same type of door in and out, so if it's a bomb wall in, it's supposed to stay a bomb wall. If it's a shutter, or if it's an open door in, it should only shutter behind. If you want a real fun time, though, if there's a key door in a Ganon's room and you have 2 routes in, pop the key door. Don't go through and like up an A and go through a different door. That key door you popped will not close with a shutter on that side of the room. It's a neat little trick, and it's very useful if you're trying to get through Ganon, say you only have wood arrows and need to find silvers in 9. You can use Ganon's room as kind of a room to navigate through. You shouldn't be impeded in actually getting to silvers, but there might be a shortcut behind.
So it's meanwhile down to 1 heart on the... Okay, gets the compass. So not a... I mean, a bit of a reward for that.
Yeah, I was fearful that he was thinking it was just a push block staircase that couldn't actually exist. So I'm happy to see that there is at least something behind there that he could take away from it. And you actually get teleported into the Triforce room. That's pretty fun. I don't think this is... Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think this is survivable based on where they're gonna spawn.
Wasn't good. But at least he knows how to get there. Yeah, looks like he's gonna go ahead and leave that for now.
It does have access to level 8, which I've seen Gomas in, and I'm kind of thinking that's the same enemy set that we have in 1, so 8 might be the best place to dig, especially with 2 items in it. Also, notice how I said that Caffy was only down to 3 or 4 keys about 5 minutes ago?
I know, right? Nice fairy.
Yeah, the rupee count's still kind of depressing, but the key count and the bomb counts are definitely looking nice. At least for Caffy.
Okay, what do we got here? We got an item. We have a bracelet.
We're still missing, I believe, level 5 and level... well, yeah, I think level 5 has to
I
be
think
blocked.
just 5. Yeah, I just think just level 5. So you pick that up. It opens up 4 new locations, so... Can't leave it behind at this point.
I don't think we've seen runners fully complete Death Mountain, so that might be the only other spot to look. I know we saw some runners kind of skirting around Death Mountain looking, but... Kyra says it's clear, I'll believe it. So that would lead me to believe that Power Bracelet may actually be required, or Flute.
Oh, nice free compass. Should be really close to that Triforce.
Yeah, we'll have to see how many rooms Caffey has left in this dungeon.
I don't think we found either item. Oh, okay, yeah. We're gonna need that. We're gonna need that flute or recorder.
Yep.
In general, what do you all prefer, a flute or recorder? I'm used to just always being the flute or occasionally the ocarina.
It just depends on who you are. We don't really care too much. We got people that call it the recorder, people that call it the flute. Jam Evil calls it the magical Tootie Flute, so you get the whole
That's cute.
whole line.
And we're at 11 hearts for Caffey.
Yeah, Breadstick also works. Some other names in the community popping up now in chat.
Now, if you're Xoas, at what point do you just go ahead? I mean, he's gone a long way without buying arrows. At what point do you just say that I just need to buy these now and not worry about, saving money? Right now, he's only got 15 rupees, so he can't even if he wants to. Is it purely a funds issue at this point?
Yeah, I think it's probably a money issue for him. There are dungeons where you can collect money pretty easily here, so I think he'll eventually come across that moment in time where he can buy it. I think we have the second item, though, on Caffey's side.
Oh, baby. Well,
Nice.
I don't think that was blocked by anything, so Xoas should be able to just get those and not have to ever buy the wood arrow, so that's really good for Xoas.
Yeah,
Not 100% sure, because Caffey did kill a couple of Gomas, but if those weren't required, then Xoas will be able to get that.
there's definitely a lot of rooms around where that silver arrow was, but that's actually a big piece of news for Exo if you can actually get over there. You can't go through this room, but there's so many rooms that you shouldn't have just that room pincer you off the rest of that side. Question in chat, will Exo just maybe bail at some point in this dungeon? I really don't think so, because 6 and 7 have Wizrobe Guria. They're just absolutely obliterating both runners at this point. So I think he'll probably be inclined with just a bunch of Keese Room, a couple of random Gomas. He'll want to just clear this. This is a much easier set.
Alright, Caffey finding 7.
Looks like Exo is thinking about conserving bombs, but I think you've got to start looking to bomb around a little bit here.
So at this point, our flute looks like it's going to be either in one of these two bigger dungeons, the 6 or the 7.
Yep. It could be in 6, 7, or if a power bracelet blocks 5, that would be the other alternative option.
Be a little crazy, though. We could end up needing all 3 overworld block items. Depending on where that 5 is.
I kind of think it's pretty likely at this point that everything's just going to get required, which has happened numerous times in this, but didn't look like this seed was going to go that direction until just recently.
Yeah, we're finding 8 where we did, and then the Triforce and 8 being recorder blocked, and now, you know, it's like a 4 and 5 chance that the level 5 is going to be bracelet blocked, so...
Should be a chance here for Exo to get lucky with a health drop off of these wall masters. They usually are in the group that's capable of dropping you some, but didn't get it this time.
Yeah, and there's that room that Xoas died to earlier. And down to 1.5 hearts to get through that. Pretty nasty. I mean, considering the combat heavy we're seeing in 6 and 7, do you take the trip over to the level 4 raft spot to check for the magical sword at this point? I mean, it certainly would help with these 6 and 7 dungeons quite a bit.
It's a tough call to make. I think if you are going back that direction to check the flute spot at some point in the sea, that's the most likely time to go look. We do spawn close enough to it, I suppose, to merit going to look as well. So, just a question of when, as we may have an item or may be another transport.
I mean, usually you're really happy to see that any key, but we have so many keys that, you know, you grab it because, you know, it'd be silly not to, but...
Yep, I've seen a tournament race where we've entered 9 with 10 keys and gotten down to 0.
But now we just go grab the Triforce and leave. Or, I shouldn't say just grab the Triforce. No, not with this room.
Yep. Thankfully, the primary enemies were a little bit nicer in this room. So a trick if you have a heavy combat room is every room has a priority that it loads in on, and it sticks to that priority. So if you kill a couple Tektites in the room with Tektites, a blue and a red Wizrobe, you can potentially leave, come back, and maybe the Tektite was set to spawn first, so it will spawn into the room, and the blue or red Wizrobe might have been last, and they won't spawn in.
Yeah, I remember using that trick as a kid to try and get through more difficult dungeon rooms in this game.
Chat's debating when you can safely ignore the magic key. The only time I've seen somebody completely ignore the magic key is I saw a race one time where one runner had 17 and the other had 21, and the one with 21 saw the any key and said, "Ha, nope."
21, yikes. And we do find level 5 at the south bracelet spot, so we do need all 3 items. Could be it right here. Oh, it's a white sword. That's a nice item.
So that completes, I think, all of our items. Looks like red ring in the regular banana or Lord Banana in 9.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to have our flute in 6.
And we're done with 5. That was a very quick 5. So I feel like that white sword makes it a little less likely you'd go and check for magic sword, that white sword being a significant upgrade from the wood sword. Looks like Caffey's gonna head back to 6.
Oh, if you can get through this Dodongo room and go up and bomb left, maybe? I don't think he's done that yet. There's a Goma impeding the progress below. I think it was a diamond stair.
Looks like he's gonna up A. No, going back in.
Yeah, going back in, but went back to start. To
yeah, I feel like he was pretty close to that area. I remember it was like in the middle of the left side there.
Yeah, it was right above the Goma room, but he didn't try to bomb up, go that direction. It looked like he was more focused on a handful of the rooms he hadn't seen down here, and then another handful that he hadn't seen up in the top in the middle.
I don't think either one of our runners has gone up anywhere in 6. We've seen most of what we've seen has been down. So I think that's where looks like that's where caffy's gonna head.
Yeah. Thankfully, the regular boomerang was not the item found in 5. It makes it a little bit more manageable for Caffy, who has no extra defense, to kind of get through these Wizroom, Bria room. Yeah, I'm not sure he's ever going to look at Magical Sword anymore, though, with the white sword and the wand. It's, you know, I mean, if you go into 9 and you immediately hit a whole bunch of Wizrobe rooms, maybe that would change you, maybe change your decision-making as it's at the Woodsword Cave. Because then you only have 4 screens to go across to go look.
And we're now at I guess at this point be a 50-50 that he'd be able to get it at 12 hearts. Okay, and now he's not going to go for it, because if you were, you don't want to lose that heart container there. This is white sword finish for Caffy. Looks like this upper area not really paying out here. I don't think we got anything. We checked this entire area now. Okay, we haven't really seen this bottom left area. So maybe that's where he heads next. Looks like Zoa's leaving without the silvers. That is really unfortunate.
Yeah, the good news is no Triforce either, because it's Dig Dogger block, so...
Right. So he's gonna have to come back anyway.
Yeah, at that point, with how much he's gotten cleared, and he knows there's a Goma blocking a room in there, it may be a situation where he goes and looks there.
In the meantime, probably does buy those arrows once he has the money for it.
Yeah, he went in with what I think was around 10 or 15 rupees and left with 45, so he's definitely trending up.
And there is that flute.
Yeah, the biggest enemy for Exo right now is time, and some of these Triforces he doesn't have are really going to be free and easy to get to, and some are not.
So should put Caffy in go mode. And nothing else he needs to get at this point.
Yeah, the only thing stopping Caffy is a lot of blue Wizrobes in 9. That's the one thing that's really going to be a struggle. Everything else should be pretty easy at this point.
picks up his Triforce out of 6, and now we'll head back to 8. He knows exactly where the Triforce is, and we'll be able to get that relatively quickly. Fortunately, 6 not too far away from 8.
Yeah, we are, it looks like 29 rupees short of the wood arrows, but I'm sitting here thinking about it more and more. I think just because of how close Magical Sword is, if you actually get to 12 or 13 hearts somehow, I guess it'd be 12 hearts at this point, maybe I'd go take a peek. Just go ahead and give yourself a chance at it being a little bit easier to dig. If we had Blue Ring, that would make it not as important.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Caffy might run into the red ring in level 9. Also might not. And there it is. Triforce 8.
Kind of sound like we had the Super Mario World Underground going there.
Oh, is that what that was? Yeah, I couldn't tell. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll get a glimpse at it at the end of the seed once we hit the credits.
Yeah, this looks like this will get us closest to level 9. Level 9 at the vanilla wood sword location at the very beginning. Looks like not quite enough money to get the red potion, so just gonna pick up the blue.
Alright, we're into the Door and Roar strats, and it looks like Exo did find enough money to pick up wood arrows, so you can go back into 8 at any point and clear up the remaining rooms that are blocked by the Gomas.
That is really pink.
Yep, it's also pretty tiny for 9 as far as 9s go.
Yeah, I mean, we saw such a big 7 and 8. It's like, Chad has counted it for us, 42 rooms. That feels really small for a 9.
Yeah, I think logically, as we find the compass, so there's one piece of the puzzle potentially. I think it's the smallest you can really get down to is close to 39 or 40, so this is going to be about as small as it gets. 7, 8, 9 all share a grid, so you got to take that, 128 rooms across the 3 of them. Question, Chad, about any sort of rules with regard to time difference, and this one's just win or lose, so there's no tiebreakers or anything like that, so a lot of times you'll see one runner finish, and if the other one isn't real close and wants to see it out, they may just opt out.
Yeah, Xoas has a long ways to go at this point.
Yeah, well, Triforce 2 doesn't require Gliok combat, and you just have to go across 8 rooms, just walking through to get to it, so it's not so bad. This 3, it's up at the top, not blocked by any bosses, so it's, again, not too terrible. I want to say 5 was, like, under 5 rooms for everything, so lots of rooms that can be blitzed.
Yeah, I feel... Oh, there's that red ring. I'm sure Cappy's gonna be happy to see that. But yeah, I feel like Zoe is spending a lot of time early in 6 and not really getting much of a payout other than that Triforce, and didn't, ate up a whole bunch of his time while Caffy was busy clearing out some of the smaller dungeons.
Yeah, we have Ganon's location. We hear the roar in this room that Caffy's in now. So, looking like north is the most likely answer. Can we get there via bomb walls, or are we going to have a fun staircase route?
Well, maybe. If this Patra would get out of our way.
Yep, so there's Ganon. It's going to take 8 hits or 7 if you roll down. Small annoyance with it being a dark room. You don't have the tiles to see your position, but Caffy's played a couple hundred seeds in the last couple months, so has enough experience to fight Ganon and stun lock and get rid of him.
Very nicely done. Also, it's not one of the rooms with ladder usage. Some of those moat rooms seem to be really treacherous for Ganon fights.
Yeah, the worst part is it offsets where Ganon spawns, so if you're used to catching Ganon at specific spots, it goes a bit south there. I think Caffy's looking for a staircase to get down a little bit further if possible. This would be a fine time for the regular boomerang to show up in a staircase when we're trying to find an item, or find a transport, excuse me. Yeah, here comes a potential reverse block clip. Yep.
It looks like it may be a path from this.
Well, one bomb. Which bomb are we choosing?
Oh boy.
No
not
dice.
The one, yeah, unfortunately, that one does not open up.
And no more in this room. We gotta try, silvers or wand and white sword impacts here to try and get a bomb drop. But unfortunately, nothing. Oh, game.
Okay.
Come on,
that's helpful.
Well, we may not be out of the woods yet.
Yeah, it looks like that neither one of those is going to work. We have to come from the other direction.
Yeah, this is a bit of the problem with these small nines, though, is when you compress the dungeon, it looks like it removes a lot of bomb walls from what I've experienced.
Mm.
And that whole bottom row is its own little area. So.
Yeah, well, I think take the transport here, see if, assuming it is a transport.
Yep, you look in here, and if this doesn't take you closer, I think you may opt to go up in the other room. Oh,
or...
Alright, now you gotta take this back, I think, and go back up in that other room and look around some more.
Yeah, because if you look above, he's been in that room.
Yeah, but I didn't know if we checked... I didn't know if it was shutter door, key door, or just bomb walls again. So, is there any other doors down here, or are we just...
He had one more room to go down, but looks like he'd already been down there, so I'm guessing there's going to be some sort of staircase to get him over there. I'm not sure there's anything else left. Maybe, you can't go... We know it's not straight down from here, because we've been in that... I think we've been in that room that's right above.
Well, he needs a bomb pack in this room again. So it's either... There's a couple bomb walls. I think we just need to go find bombs somewhere now. But there's a couple rooms left here. That we have to at least bomb again if we haven't bombed them already, just to make sure we didn't miss something. 'Cause otherwise, we have a magical staircase to Zelda, which is everybody's favorite when they're playing.
Yeah, unfortunately, at only 12 rupees, I believe the bombs were vanilla at 20, so... We'll have to get a drop here somewhere. And I'm not seeing any bomb droppers yet. Oh, there's a blue Octorok on the wrong side.
Yep, so blue enemies on the overworld sets, or red enemies in the dungeon.
Darn you, red Octoroks. And blue Dark Nuts.
Yeah, this has gotta feel really, really...
Oof.
Bad for Caffy. He's as a runner in his shoes right now, I'd be figuring I'm going to lose to bomb drops.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I always say this in Link to the Past. You don't assume you assume that your opponent took exactly the correct route and is not had all the issues. Oh, there's some bombs. You don't assume that your runner spent a bunch of time clearing out 6 and not getting the item. You don't assume that they're the mistakes that they might have made.
Yep, we got a clock shortly after that bomb drop, so with the enemies killed, we should be on a 6 count, which means 7's next, and 8 would be your next bomb drop. So if he really wants to, he can set up a count to where he gets another kill off something that doesn't drop a bomb, and then get a bomb dropper on the 8th one, see if he can get a second pack. May not be necessary at all, though, if this wall opens.
Does not.
Ooh.
Oh my.
I would at least go back to the other rooms and make absolutely certain we bomb both directions, but yeah, this is starting to look magical. And he may map walls that he's bombed already, so it may in fact be magical already.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of runners say that they're much more likely to keep a map of 9 than the other dungeons, just because of the sheer size and the extra transport staircases.
Yeah. I like mapping staircases. I find mapping the entire 9 a bit too tedious for me, but... Well, you're down here. Do you bomb again? Make sure? I think you have to. I feel like he just took the staircase last time he was here.
Yeah, looks like that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And there it is. And Caffy finishing up with an official race time of 1:15:47, and Xoas with only 4 Triforces gonna set up the white flag, gonna go ahead and forfeit. I can't say I blame him one bit. A lot of game left to play before finishing out this one. But GG's to Caffy. He'll be moving on to the next round.
Yep, we might have one or both join us here momentarily, but yeah, it's a story of... I really think outside of level 8's silvers and level 6's flute, Xoas is basically only about 5 minutes from 9. So it's just a question of how fast you would have gone back to get the flute out of 6.
Yep.
So while it looks like he's only halfway through, in reality, time-wise, I bet you he probably could have closed it out considerably.
I feel like 2 and 5 were pretty short, and I don't think 7 wasn't real long either, if I remember correctly. It just was really big.
Yeah, you get to take
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you get to take the staircase in the Triforce room at least, but we are joined, as you were about to say, by Caffy. GG's.
GG's.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So you're probably a little bit nervous in that 9, not being able to see where Exo was at.
Yeah, running out of bombs in that 9 is not a good thing. I had no idea where I was in that race. It felt okay, but I was looking at the timer. I was moving pretty slow, so for a second I thought it was going to be a magic staircase situation. I didn't think about bombing down in that corridor stair.
Yeah, I think you went through it without bombing earlier. Maybe it might have been before you even got to Ganon. I'm not sure. And then it's good you went back and tried to do it again, because otherwise might have been a whole lot of searching for that staircase that wasn't going to take you there.
Yeah, I had seen it. I think it was my second staircase, or at least my first staircase confirmed. And completely didn't think about bombing down there. Luckily I did, otherwise, or that transport took me back towards the start. Had it not, I would have probably continued to dig north, northeast, or northwestish.
A couple of the blocks that really got Exo stymied a little bit in this, where I think, at least from a commentator's perspective, it looked like Goma was at minimum the fastest way to get to silvers, and potentially the only way to get to silvers. I didn't see what the block was in the other room to the right of the silver arrows, so he couldn't get in there. And then just a lot of combat. He was trying to dig 6 for an item and 7 for an item early, and with that Wizrobe Korea set, it was just a lot of damage getting taken
Yep.
along the way.
Yeah, that 6 was not fun. My first dip in there, I don't think I had the bow at that point. Or maybe I did. Anyway, I still needed silvers at the very least. And after taking a death pretty deep in there, I decided, just come back. I got plenty of other dungeons to find. I think I found 8 not too long after. I was lucky to get both items. I'm not sure what route I took to get to the silvers, and I don't remember the Goma, but didn't matter at that point because I had bow and arrows.
Yep.
Yeah, Exo was getting combat blocks, so he bought the blue ring and went down to 5 or 10 rupees for a good while. So when he got there, I think you took the route that was through the triple Dodongo with the heart container, and then over to the Goma, killed it, and then went up into the silver arrow room.
That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I was hoping I didn't have to dig that recorder out of 6. I was hoping it was in 7, but no dice there.
Yeah, and of course the nice all 3 raft, bracelet, and recorder all required in this one.
Yeah, no kidding. That's what these seeds do. After finding silvers, I was hoping I was in. Well, I guess after finding silvers, I had seen the Triforce room at that point, so it didn't matter. But I was hoping to jet it after that, but I had to do quite a bit after. Luckily, 5 was like 3 rooms.
Yeah,
so
that was super quick.
Take that too bad.
You got a nice white sword for your trouble, so.
Yeah, which was needed for 6, I think. Because those drizzle orbs, man, that got me pretty good. And beefy manhandlers.
Yep.
Yeah, had you not seen the white sword in 5, if it had been off the beaten path and you'd gone straight to Triforce, it would have been interesting, because we thought Magical Sword was far enough out of the way at the heart container count you had to potentially go for it when you had 10 or 11, but we were wondering what would have happened in 9 had you run into huge Wizrobes and no staircases with red rings early, but unfortunately it was a really easy enemy set with a red ring for free almost, so we didn't quite get the troll in the commentary booth that we wanted.
Yeah, I was really happy to see the Lionels in level 9. Because otherwise, with no defense, I mean, I knew Red Ring was in there, but reversing it or finding it was no guarantee, so.
Right.
I think I found it after, 3 pokes into staircases, and really happy to see that, and I was pretty much free sailing from there until I ran out of bombs.
Well, this, I think, moves you on to the round of 16. And given that HN is already asking if you're racing tomorrow, I'm going to assume that that's going to be your opponent.
Yeah, I think HN is my next person. I'm not sure if we're allowed to start that early. I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah, I'm looking at chat, and looks like the schedule's been made for tomorrow. I don't know.
Well, Nora's begging you not to, but I'm not sure that's going to impede your ability to schedule it or not. Just maybe the restream might not be so obtainable that quickly, but I'm sure you guys can find some time within the next couple of days to start knocking out a couple of these if you wanted to. I don't think there's any restrictions as far as that goes.
Okay. Yep, we'll get with them and we'll get that going. Other than that, I almost did this seed traditional order. I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I got to digging everywhere and couldn't find anything. It was pretty funny.
Well, it's 6, 7, and 8. I mean, we're all pretty big. 6, obviously normally the biggest of the first 6, and then 7 and 8. With such a small 9, those rooms had to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was really happy I skipped those 2 bomb spots, because had I found 6, I guess I did. I found it eventually, but I may have been inclined to dig it a little bit early on.
Yeah, you went a long time before you even got bombs early on.
Yeah, it was didn't get lucky on my globals, unfortunately, but I think it ironically paid off.
All right. Anything else you want to add before we close this out?
I don't know. I think that's it. GG's to XO, great runner, and sorry to be the one to knock him out, but looking forward to my next series with HN. And thank you guys for the ream stream and the tracking and the commentary. All great stuff.
Yeah, GG's and congrats to you.
Thank you.
We had one other match that you can go back and catch the VOD of. I think it was a TA 909 Antlers that was
Yep.
on SpeedGaming 6. We have two more coming up at the top of the hour. We got the game 2s for both Sea Falcon and Truant and Redbird and Ellendar. Your commentators for both are very good. We got Boof and Boom and Jay Coper on one end and Trenton and LOZ Cards fan on the other. So definitely some good matches to catch here in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to sitting back and watching a little bit. This was a good one. Fury, thank you for having me on my first Z1R. It was a lot of fun. Learned a lot of stuff. And of course, our tracker Chiros, always the MVPs clicking those buttons. And I'll let you close this out.
Yep, not much else to say except thanks to everybody for watching, and hope to see you around when we get to the next couple of matches here in about half hour's time.